I'm currently running a business that does up to $63,225 per month. And the crazy part is, it only takes about 5 hours per week to keep this business running. But it wasn't always this way. A couple years ago, I was really stressed all the time. I was doing everything. I was doing everything. Marketing, sales, lead gen, customer support, coaching. I was doing everything. And I kept watching these YouTube videos of people like, Alex Hormozy, and they said you have to work harder. So I kept doing it, but I was getting overwhelmed. I was getting stressed. I felt really burnt out all the time. I genuinely thought working harder was the solution. But then everything changed for me. I joined a $10,000 coaching program from a quite a reputable online coach. And at first I was skeptical. I didn't think it was actually that valuable. I thought I knew a lot of these things. But then during one of the calls, one of the coaches said, you have to hire a salesperson. You have to delegate. And I remember at the time, I was in my head, I had a block. I thought, no, I can't delegate. I'm not working hard enough. I haven't hit enough revenue yet. I still need to do the sales. I don't deserve to hire someone. I don't have the margins to hire someone. The margins are going to drop. And I can do it myself. I can still do it. Bear in mind, I was doing everything in the business at this point, and I was only making like $20,000 a month, and I was working my absolute butt off. But I finally took his advice. I put an ad out on LinkedIn, and I hired a salesman within like a couple months. And this was one of the best decisions I've ever made. One of the best decisions I've ever made. Since then, this guy has generated, he's still with me, and he's generated me over $1 million, well over $1 million. And probably saved me 1,000 or 2,000 hours of work. Now, it's normal. When you first delegate as a relatively small business owner who's doing a lot of the grunt work, you're going to worry. You're going to worry about margins. My margins are going to drop from 100%. You're going to worry, if I hire someone, I'm going to make less money myself. I'm going to take home less. You're going to worry that the quality is not going to be as good. I don't think they can do it like me. And in the short term, a lot of these views are valid. Short term, it is going to cost money. Your margins are going to drop. In the short term, the amount you take home is going to drop. In the short term, the quality of the output of whatever thing you are kind of delegating to that person, whatever you're hiring them for, that's going to drop. That's not going to be as good in the short term, and maybe even the long term. But the benefit of this, the huge benefit, once you make this shift, is you buy back your time. You get to kind of stop doing things that you hate because someone else is handling it for you. And the most important thing is you just get freedom, and you create this space where each day you can start focusing more and more and more time on things you actually want to focus on, things that you're good at, things that will actually move the needle. Because the truth is, a lot of people out there, sure, they might be making good money, but if the business only runs when you're working 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, that's not a business. It's a job. And look, there is a caveat here. Of course, there are people who, like myself, actually, who only need to work a few hours a week to keep things running. Or maybe they don't even need to work at all to keep things running, but they still work 50, 60, 70 hours a week anyway. And that's different. But I'm talking about people who have a business and they have to work this many hours to keep all the plates spinning, to keep everything running. And if they drop out, it all breaks. And sure, some people are totally cool with that. But if you're not like that and you actually are feeling overwhelmed and stressed and like it's just going nowhere, like I was feeling, you might be the kind of person who just wants that freedom back. That's what I did. It was one of the best things I ever did. And once I saw this with sales, I could delegate all the sales. I know this is so basic, but once I could give the sales goals to someone, sure, the margins dropped, but over time, as I trained this person up and I hired the right person, they were doing better than me. I was making double, triple the amount with less hours. And this kind of starts getting addictive because you realize, okay, well, if I can do that with sales, can I delegate lead gen? Can I get someone to do the support, the service that I'm actually selling? Can I get someone to do the coaching? And once I was able to do that with all the areas of the business, and of course, this was a very long process. It took a while to figure all this out. But once you figure out the little tricks for doing it in your particular business, you can seriously cut down your hours. And so that's why now I could probably, honestly, if I had to spend 3 hours a week I really had to, and the business would keep running. And when you get there, and again, this isn't for everyone, but some people watching this, they'll be thinking, I really want that. Like I really want to have a business that runs where I can have some freedom. And honestly, this feeling, once you figure it all out, it's incredible. I'm 28 and I went to the hairdresser the other day. I don't know if he was just buttering me up, but he said, I thought you were 19. He said, I thought you were 19. But it made me kind of think, like if 2-3 years ago, if I kept going that way, I'd probably look a lot older now and a lot more stressed. But taking all that off your plate, allowing yourself the freedom to focus on what you really want to focus on, it's amazing. It's amazing. And yes, I have friends, they're making a lot more money than me, working 70 hours a week. And they tell me to work harder, but that's just not who I am. Me, I want to be the guy who can use his strengths, double down on those, the things I'm good at and I'm passionate about, and get the maximum amount of leverage to achieve my goals. If you feel like your operations suck, your systems suck, you're stuck in the business, and you feel like deep down you can delegate this and free your time up, feel free to hit the link down below, and I'll see if I can help you with it.